If you've ever opened a virus on your PC, then you know what's coming next. It's the fellas.
That's a good 4th of July. You still got some of the... What the fuck? You just cut it?
No, I didn't cut it. It faded.
You're just as good at editing as this fucking movie was. Thank you very much. I hope you're happy now. Your editing skill is on par with a Hollywood...
Made in the backstreet B-roll somewhere.
Well, understand, if I ever want to make a movie filmed entirely on my iPhone with nothing but stock footage, you've
from a video game.
You have secured a job in editing because you can do just as good. Be proud of that.
They could have just gave credit to some flight simulator engine, and they would have provided better cuts and probably better graphics with some of the new game systems out here.
Okay, well that's spoiler territory right there. You just spoiled half the movie.
Did I really?
Yeah, you just basically gave away the plot.
Oh,
what's this movie about? Stock footage and video games. You know what? Let me stop. We'll get into that. I'm right into spoiler territory, as if I should give a shit. Let me tell you something, Ray.
This is a good movie to come back from our little hiatus because man,
I was in a fucking hospital. I was in a coma. You really take for granted the shit I went through. I saw Jesus. I died on the operating table for 5 minutes. Anyway, you listen to the fellas. A damn near indefinite hiatus. Yeah, I saw some shiny shit and I was like, I feel like I see this shiny thing. Let me play with these keys. But hey, better late than never, or not, I don't know, but we're in troubled times, so we wanted to see something patriotic. And all realness aside, Ray was like, look, man, I remember, Ray, you came to me, he's like, look, we gotta get back in the game.
Gotta get back in the game.
And I was like, I did my whole Danny Glover, I'm too old for this shit, I'm out of the game. Think of an 80s action movie. I need you to come back. You must come back. We have to go to the jungle and fight this guy. I'm like, I'm out of it.
Look, man.
I'm out of it. And then the protagonist shows the guy a picture of like a young white child that's been kidnapped. She's in the jungle, and the picture shows her like playing out in the American fields. And I look right at the camera. I'm like, where's my motherfucking super suit? And we go back in. And what happened was, I remember you came to me like, yo, we got to get back in the game. It's like, Ray, I don't have the motivation. This is a young man's thing now. Let the youngins do it. Like, they can't review the shit that needs to be reviewed. I said, look, I'm out. Let the young kids through it. And you said, look at this. And you showed me a trailer. What the hell was the name of this movie again?
It's called To Duty.
It's just called To Duty?
To Duty.
And no. It's the name of the movie is called To Duty.
Yeah. So you were called To Duty.
Right. And you showed me the trailer and said, look at this. Look at this. And I looked at the trailer and I said, my God, who on YouTube is reviewing this?
Nobody.
This is a crime. You looked in my eyes and was like, nobody's reviewing it, Hoss. Nobody. Let me go on YouTube. Somebody's got to be bringing this movie to justice.
Somebody.
I checked YouTube. Nobody reviewed this money. This movie was going to go unpunished for its crime.
I haven't seen the lack of laziness in my life. Well, I've seen some pretty bad shit.
No. I've seen worse. What makes this one so egregious is that it tried so hard to make itself serious.
Yep.
Which just makes me punish it worse. It's like when you're beating up someone and they try to fight back, and that just makes you angrier and beat him worse because he dared to fight back. But you know what? I'm just going to give you 2 minutes of plot.
Okay.
2 minutes of plot.
Okay.
All right? And I want you to interject once the bullshit starts. Once you say, wait a minute, stop. Feel free to cut in. So here's the plot. This is called To Duty. So there is we're on the brink of war with the country of North Korea. No, I'm sorry. Hold on. No, we're on the brink of war with the country of... Fuck, I just saw it.
North Kyong.
Is that what it's called? North Kyong?
North Kyong.
Because I just saw the fucking name. It was just here. I think it's because I went to the list of characters.
North Kyong. Kyong.
Fuck it, it's gone.
It's threatening the United States with nuclear attacks.
So the country of North Kyong, we're on the verge of war. Not North Korea, North Kyong. And we've already got like an aircraft carrier station, like off the coast or whatever. And there is, completely unrelated, there's a group of stunt pilots, sort of like the Blue Angels.
The Blue Angels?
Yeah,
they call it the Wing Girls.
Yeah, when you do the air show. There's something, they're called Wing Girls, and they're special because there's nothing but women.
Would you know that there are women pilots at the air show?
Well, okay, so all right, we're gonna make our first cut. All right, how the fuck would you know they're women pilots? Well, that's their main thing because they're doing an air show that's not at an airfield. It's over random beaches and towns, and people come out into the streets and on the beach to to hold up signs. We love the wing girls.
And obviously it was a 2-second shot of one girl holding the sign, which no one else was standing around her.
But they do their air show just over random populated areas, not like at an airfield where you would normally have an air show. So they're doing their air show, and their base for this particular air show is an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
So they would land, and of course, because they have a vagina, the seasoned veteran pilots feel threatened enough to talk shit to some civilians who perform in an air show.
No, I don't think they're civilians. They're actually ranked military personnel.
Military personnel wouldn't have a tour of an air show. Like they mentioned the thing, they're booking their tours and they're going all over the country and this and that or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I know as little of how the military works as a director of this movie. I don't fucking know. So let's move on. They're doing their air show, and for some reason, I don't know if it's ever been explained or maybe I just missed it. I don't fucking know. I can even explain it. They need the girls from this air show to fly into North Korea with the combat
North
vets.
I'm
sorry. They need them to fly into North Kyongyong
Yeah.
to take out their anti-aircraft guns. These girls, by the way, who they say repeatedly they mention have zero combat experience. Only they can fly with these seasoned pilots to take out AA guns.
What I like the most is how some politician was talking to some general about their plans instead of the general explaining to the pilot.
Hold on, we're gonna get into that.
Okay,
let me finish the plot. So they have to do this, and again, because they have vaginas, they are met with resistance at every level. And throughout the movie, they constantly remind us how these women love each other and have to stick together because they're women, not because they're adversaries against an enemy. Fuck that guy and fuck this country. It's about them being women and they have to stick together.
Women.
Exactly. Now, this is kind of embarrassing, but now that I really look back over it, there was little to no substance to this. I can't really point out. I can't point out a single fucking thing that was of any substance, whatever, to move this movie forward. I'm gonna end the synopsis right now
because
some shit happens. They go through some shit, and eventually they go on the mission. Spoiler alert, they fuck it up. And the director blatantly leaves it on enough of a cliffhanger to demand a sequel.
A second movie, yeah.
Yeah, a sequel for this shit. I'm like, who the fuck wrote this script with the intention of a sequel?
This will answer your point. The person that wrote this edited it.
Oh my lord.
This shit... I was confused and appalled on so many scenes that are like, what's going on? Why are we going from
it was nothing but that was me saying that.
Why are we going
time.
from the sky to some lady driving her car?
No, not only that. Okay, let's get in the air, and they take off from the aircraft carrier, and then that'll be the last cohesive scene that you see for the next 12 minutes. It's nothing but stock footage of random jets banking and spinning. A missile fired, a missile hit somebody. And the whole time, like, what the fuck's going on? Who is that?
Mm-hmm.
Who shot? I think M was watching it with us. He's like, don't you see they're going into combat? I was like, M, you see that? Boom, a jet just blew up. Who is that?
Who is that? Yeah.
Who died?
Where's the thing? And they have...
There's a missile shoots. Where'd that missile come from?
Boom.
A missile goes past a jet. Whose jet did that go past?
Oh.
A missile hits another jet. Who just died?
And,
there's gunshots. There's gunshots. Who's shooting? Who's being shot at? They showed a jet, one jet behind another jet,
blow up,
getting ready to shoot. I'm like, is that the enemy? Have they told you that the enemy's in the air? Have someone said there's an enemy behind me? No, a jet behind another jet starts shooting.
Spoiler alert.
Explain to me what the fuck's going on. What the fuck is going on? And every time they leave the flight deck, it's like that.
Look.
It's a jumbled up fucking mess.
I'm pro women, all right.
Jesus Christ!
I'm
here we go.
Women, but
the thirsty motherfucker.
But
over
even
here.
the movie, but only the movie can prove the statistics. When you send a group, a female squadron out there, only 87% of them would not fulfill the mission.
Let me tell you something funny. Side tangent, guys. Side tangent. Forgive. GQ has this YouTube thing where they have real people critique movies about certain things. A real jewel thief is going to critique these several jewel thieving movies, and they'll talk about scenes. A real sniper is going to talk about the sniper scenes in this or that movie, whatever. They had one where a real pilot critiqued freaking Top Gun, the sequel to Top Gun.
Yeah.
And the guy was, basically jizzing all over the movie, saying how good it was, how realistic it was, because they were actually flying in jets when they were doing all that shit. But the funny thing is, when the movie starts and they show the people, this group is the best of the best of the best, and they show all the people, and there's that one woman, and the guy he chuckles and he says, "Look, I don't want to seem sexist or whatnot, but you're not gonna have a woman in that group." And you could tell he was gonna say more, and they cut it out. The guy chuckles like there's not going to be a woman in that group. And I was intrigued. I was genuinely intrigued by that, right?
Yeah.
So I looked up. I'm shitting you not. I actually did this. I went and I looked online. And it's like, why are there so few women in the Air Force? And I got some very interesting information.
Oh, yeah. So what do you get?
Well, when you're doing the G-forces, the G-forces causes the blood to slow down, and that's what causes you to pass out.
Yeah.
You're getting less blood to your brain.
Yeah.
Your blood comes from your bones. Your bones is what produces the blood.
Yeah.
And because men's bones are bigger and thicker, men produce more blood, so the G-forces affect them a lot less. Yes. So the G-forces is one problem. Another problem is something called fast twitch muscle fibers. You ever heard about that?
Yeah. That's why women gamers can't beat.
Yeah. How quickly you can respond to stimuli that you see, and your fingers and whatnot can twitch to hit the buttons or whatever. 1/10 of a second can get you fucking killed. Not responding fast enough when you're up there. So a woman's just not going to come close to a man. Biggest indicator. Let me ask you something. Ray, have you ever noticed that in a stressful situation, a lot of times you see women completely fucking break down?
Just like in this movie?
Yes, in a stressful situation. Women will completely break down.
Yeah.
Whereas men, in a stressful situation, a lot of men shine. And they push through and they man up and they become better than they normally would be in a stressful situation.
They don't become of the moment. They are the moment.
Right. There's actually a reason for that. And I did not know this. Is also I found fine. So when you get stressed, the things that make you start fucking up and getting pressure, all that stuff when you're stressed, it's because of a chemical called cortisol.
Yeah.
Cortisol is what your body produces when you get stressed out and your adrenaline goes up and this and that or whatever. Your body produces cortisol, and that's what makes you fuck up in a lot of ways. The twitchiness, the nervousness, the anxiety, all that stuff. However, when cortisol mixes with testosterone, something amazing happens. It actually produces more focus.
So
this is scientifically proven. Cortisol mixed with enough testosterone creates a laser-like focus. That's why some men say, I work better under pressure. I work better when I'm stressed.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop you from having the jitteriness or the nervousness and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you can absolutely hone in all the background noise that would usually stop you from focusing in on what you need to do.
Yeah.
All that shit will disappear because you become super focused. And something that you can normally do, if you're focusing on that one thing, you can do like 2, 3, 4 times better.
Yeah.
Because your focus gets extremely heightened because the cortisol is mixing with the testosterone. These are all the reasons. You say, yeah, you can have women pilots, but if you're talking about the best of the best of the best, not a chance in fuck. So this idea that we've got this super special thing that these women have to be in there for some fucking reason. And when the movie starts, I'm trying to remember, when was the first time I got up and walked away, Ray?
You got up, walked out the way when you saw the command in the movie, and she was like, I'm doing this all for women, and I'm not gonna let a guy or any man tell me what to do.
Okay, so that was the first time I got outraged. It was the lack of professionalism.
Yes,
that's what it was. I mean,
say what
you will about people in the military, and men or women, by the way, when they're doing their duty, they're professional as shit. There's no time for I'm doing this for this grandstanding reason. No, that's Hollywood bullshit. You do this for any reason other than it needs to be done, you can get yourself and other people killed. It's all about professionalism. The woman, and before I even knew who the director was, I said, I guarantee you a fucking woman directed this. Because this whole thing is just like a fan fiction that somebody's daughter wrote. This is fucking ridiculous.
First of all these women are wearing makeup. I understand it's the military, but you can't wear that amount of makeup. And there was this woman that they constantly had in the scene where they had to blur her out because she was constantly nodding and looking back and forth.
An extra who wants some screen time.
Yeah. She's somebody's friend.
The colonel is sitting here talking with, I guess, the Secretary of Defense, and his aide, who was a sergeant. Why the fuck do you have a sergeant as the aide to a colonel? You know, never mind. She's just sitting there nodding and looking at people. Look at her, nod. Look at him, nod. Look back, nod. Look at her, nod. I would stop the meeting and be like, "You have a fucking problem? What are you doing?"
I had a fucking problem when in that meeting they had said we're gonna just send 2,500 ground troops just to die. I'm like, what the fuck?
No. Here's that. Thank you. That's
what the fuck are you talking about here?
Another thing where I said, what the fuck? They didn't say ground troops. We've lost 2,400 pilots due to this confrontation.
You know how much fucking planes and money in the...
What the fuck? You lost 24... They haven't even declared war. And we lost 24... Do you have... Even in this day and age, if we are in an active fucking war, let's say we go to war with both China and Russia right now, and you tell people, yeah, we lost 2,500
we would have dropped
planes.
the fucking bomb.
Yeah.
We'd have dropped the fucking bomb.
Shit would have hit the fucking... We lost how many? We lost how many jets? Shit would have hit the fucking fan.
That's like $2 trillion.
It ain't about the money. It's what would be imagined in the populace's head. They would think, oh, the entirety of the Air Force just got fucking shot down, which is not true. But we're so used to having damn near zero casualties that we're like 2,500 fucking pilots. That would be catastrophic. That would, like, what the fuck? But either way, that's that's a fucking clusterfuck. Then you got them on the aircraft carrier, and you have two Russian MiGs that buzz by the aircraft carrier. Like, oh, what the fuck was that?
They're waving hello, and it came in and cut into the scene like there was no time for you to breathe. And what the fuck just happened?
Oh, these Russian MiGs buzzed by the aircraft carrier because they were doing some training exercises, and they just went off course. And when they saw the carrier, they just wanted to wave and say hello. What the fuck?
You know what shot those motherfuckers down?
So you're telling me the carrier their radar systems didn't detect two jets on their way to intercept the carrier? They surprised the aircraft carrier.
It's not possible.
It's fucking ludicrous.
It's not possible.
It's fucking ridiculous. The whole movie is fucking ridiculous. And then I was offended by the insults because the guys, they're gonna have witty banter talking shit between the men and the women, and the banter sounded like something a child would say.
It was funny though.
It was funny because they were doing it in general. I'm like, this would be beneath the time of a professional airman.
But you had the Jesse Pinkman of the pilots, and then you had this big, strong, buff guy, which all the women just smiled and gawked at.
All the most attractive guys are the ones who are male feminists. All the guys who look like fucking creeps, those are the ones that hate the ladies. Again, a woman wrote this. A woman wrote this because women only like attractive guys who talk shit to them. An attractive guy can do anything and a woman will play it off as flirting. If an ugly guy comes up, hey, can I get you some coffee? She's gonna be thinking, oh, I'm being harassed by this creep. This is all a female's fever dream. Now, between that, the very shitty retorts. You know what I did as a game? When they were insulting each other, every time the woman would say something, the man would come back with a shitty response, and I would think to myself right after she said something, a witty response that was better. Like when the guy is like, hey, did you scrape your wings when you fell down from heaven? I said, no, I don't have any wings, but I have scraped my knees crawling up from hell itself to spit in the face of guys like you. And I was thinking, the moment she said, no, but I scraped my knees climbing up from hell, the guy should have been like, well, I can believe you scrape your knees, but I don't think you were coming up from hell. That would have been a much better retort. But he said something goofy. I don't know. And then you got...
He said something like, oh, all you guys do in the air is a bunch of tricks, and all people do is just clap. And like, I thought that was all right.
I would have said, all you girls do in the air are tricks, and you also fly and do stuff too. You get it? Yeah. Doing a trick? Yeah. So all you do in the air are tricks, and while you up there, you also fly and stuff too. If you're gonna talk shit, that's how you talk shit. And then you want to talk about this being a female fanfic. So you got the creepy guy who's the evil misogynist, and then you have their best pilot in Ace. And when you do shit like this, you're shooting at people, you're getting shot at, and you're the best. You're an alpha male.
She's the Maverick.
You are an alpha male. This is a guy who's an alpha male, looks like the dude from Thor, Chris Hemsworth, extremely attractive. He comes out and sees the woman with just a small wife beater t-shirt and a towel around his neck. Oh, hey, are you one of the winged angels? Yeah, that's me. Oh, I just want you to say I'm I'm a fan. It's really an honor to meet you, and this and that and whatever.
And one of the girls in the background were licking her lips.
Yeah.
I'm
like, okay, so basically you have an alpha male who, upon seeing the majesty of this woman, who is should be nowhere near as good as him, he just crumbles and, oh, golly gee, and I'm so nervous to be talking to someone as great and as wonderful as you, and you know, here's my number. If you would please, ma'am, allow me to sniff a crumb of your pussy, just that'd be so golly gosh good, ma'am. Like, are you fucking for real? Again, this is a female fantasy, this fucking movie.
It dawned on me that they have no idea what the fuck the military's for. Because
Can we
apparently,
get into that?
Because they're off on the farm because they're discharged for some apparent reason, and they can no longer fly, and so they're like off on some ranch. Shooting guns, and they can't hit shit. I'm like, if you're a fucking pilot and you can't hit shit with a fucking gun, you shouldn't be flying.
M was watching it, and she was like, "Oh, they don't train them to use guns in the Navy." I'm like, every branch has a level of basic boot camp.
Yeah.
Firearms training is required. If you can't pass firearm training, I don't give a shit if you are never expected to hold a gun in your life. You need to have a certain competency of firearms training.
And it came to me, it was like, she's upset that she was reprimanded over some stunt, and then her commanding officer calls her and she says, I'm not on their time, I'm on my time, and she has a montage riding her fucking horse with her other pilots. I'm like,
well, I appreciated that. That showed some accuracy. That showed some realism. Hey, your commanding officer has called you to do your fucking duty to protect and serve your country. Fuck him. I don't feel like it right now. I'm like, damn, that does sound like a woman. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah. That's actually very true.
Very much what I would expect a woman to say. I'm not on their time. I'm on my time. You get your fucking ass.
They were assigned orders, and for some strange reason, the higher rank command over their commander says, "Yo, these girls have to do this mission," and they're debating on the fact if they should do it at all.
Yeah, they're debating as to whether the women would allow them to give them that mission. And I'm like, why the fuck is he asking? I am their commanding officer and I am a colonel. I'm not asking them. I'm fucking telling them. Okay? You're still a part of the military. I'm fucking telling you, this is your fucking mission. Oh, sir, why do we have to do this? That's none of your fucking business. You're gonna do it because I'm telling you to fucking do it. You're not gonna sit there and be like, we're not gonna do this unless you tell me why. Get the fuck out of here.
Look, we are not active combat pilots. We're stunt pilots. I'm like, what?
Well, that's another problem right there. All right, so if you are in the military and you're using their carrier, then yes, you have to be trained in combat piloting. If you're only a non-combatant thing, then that means you're civilians. You're a civilian aerial acrobatics show. You should not be on an aircraft carrier. Oh, we're doing a worldwide peace tour. You would not be on a military carrier flying jets if you're a civilian outfit. That makes no fucking sense. And does it also, why was I so upset the first time I saw their female commanding officer, their direct superior?
Oh my god, that was the
sergeant,
worst piece of shit
who
I've
had
ever
a
seen.
shirt that was, I don't know why this made me so upset. The fucking
fit.
shirt was not tucked in. Fucking not fitting. It was not tucked in. That's why they only showed her from like the stomach up.
Yeah, and
So
she had
you
all
didn't
this
notice
makeup.
The shirt was not tucked in.
She
and
had
that
all this
upset me.
makeup. She had fucking artificial nails.
Yeah, fake nails. Yep.
And she was caked in makeup. You know, there's such thing as non-makeup look. Like, you're looking like you're not wearing any makeup. When the pilots,
The bitches, huh?
when the pilots took all their makeup off and they're in their little 4x8 little barrack thing bunk beds, they looked better than when they had their makeups on.
Right. That's when them being in the ship. It wasn't barracks. They were in the ship. In their the bunk beds in the ship.
I don't know if they're teleporters, but...
Oh, do we want to talk about that? Okay, so get this. So they come back and do the final mission. I'm going to assume the mission with tits up. To this day, I can't tell you what the fuck happened.
I don't know.
It was nothing but jump cuts and stock footage. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Stock footage and incorporated some flight simulator.
I thought that was a fucking video game.
A video game.
Video games have better cutscenes than the shit they were showing me. Because the editing made no fucking sense.
It was fucking horrific. I didn't know
It was
what.
offensive to all of my senses. All of them. I was offended by what I was seeing.
There was no beeping. There was no cohesive targeting. There was no talking between the pilots.
There was a point where the guy was in the gym lifting weights, and when he was, give me 3, 2, 1 more, and he threw the weights down on the ground. They didn't make the sound for the weights hitting the ground.
Oh.
And I was like, are you fucking for real? There was no sound for the weights hitting the ground because the editor fucked up and didn't put in the sound for the weights clanging on the ground.
Do you think, just looking at the cover here, you got the Call of Duty, and we got Top Gun Maverick here.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what the.
So
Ray,
you think?
please tell me you didn't just realize.
No,
this.
I did.
It's the exact same fucking cover. It's the same jet off to the side. The canopy's open. The background color is the same. You have someone standing in front of the thing with their helmet in their hand, and you have the title center bottom.
Yeah.
They copied the same fucking cover.
I'm pretty sure they're trying to red box you or some shit
Possibly.
to get you to rent. Oh, that's Top Gun. I'm gonna get rent that, and then you realize it's fucking Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That's some fucking blockbuster shit right there.
Absolutely. Tell me something. With all the problems this thing has, right? Let's say story.
What story?
Okay, I'm saying problems. Story, editing, acting, which was ass.
It's so bad.
Let's see, CGI, because this was some of the worst green screen I've ever fucking seen. The green screen was the worst fucking green screen
Can we
I've
talk
ever seen.
about? Can we talk about the non-authorized footage that shit was blurred out of?
Oh yeah, you
Like-
know what?
like
Let's talk, here's the thing. There's so much that was wrong. So much that was bad. I can't even. We should have taken some time out and written down how to format this. Because they were so much bad.
It was so much bad.
I'm just thinking back and just remembering shit. So they would blur out certain things for what I can only assume. Could you like, why the fuck is that blurred? Like number
M
one,
was talking about, this is what is, clearly it.
they don't want
They
you to
didn't want
see
you
it.
to see it.
Because I didn't notice it. She was one that pointed like. First thing she pointed out, why is his military stuff blurred? Like what military stuff? The stuff on his chest. I'm like. The pips? She's like, yeah. No, it's just blurred because he's not in focus. She's like, no, they're blurring it out. In the next scene where the girls come up, the patches some of the patches sewn on their suits were blurred out. And they did it for like everyone. I was like, you know what? You're right. And I rewound it and I was like, why the fuck is that blurred out? And I have my theory. I think for the pips on the uniform, they either didn't want or couldn't afford to pay for military advisors.
They couldn't pay for anybody.
They
Apparently,
couldn't pay for any military advisors for the purposes of accuracy.
obviously.
So what they did is they just took a bunch of random pips for a uniform. Okay, here's a pip. Just get a bunch of pips. Half of these could be for Marines. Half of these could be for Navy. Some of them could be for Army, National Guard. Who the fuck knows? Put a bunch of pips on his uniform, and they just fucking blurred it out, so you wouldn't look at it and be like, "Yeah, I'm in the military." Those are fucking random fucking pips. It doesn't make. And then the patches, were no. Here's why it was only some scenes. The patches were clearly some shit that they made up. They just made some random patches. And just blurred them out so that people don't look at it and be like, what the fuck is that? Because they want this. They want this to be real. They want this to be as real as possible. Instead of saying, this is the fake nation of the United States of Wakanda, and we're flying against North Kyrgyzstan. It's the U.S. It's the U.S. and North Korea, but they don't call it Korea. Kim Jong-im, the country Kim Jong-im, whatever. Yeah, but they're trying to make it seem real, so they didn't want to come up with some fake random ass patches. But the thing is, because they were blurring all of them out, and then after a while, I'm gonna say three quarters of the way through the movie, they said fuck it, and they just stopped blurring them.
You could tell.
I stopped and I read and was like, what the fuck is that? I have never fucking heard of that before. It's like a patch for some service or something. I just gave up and said fuck it, just stop blurring it. Whatever. Just the editing guy was like, look, I'm the only guy.
You mean the writer?
No, the editor.
That's the writer.
Here. I'm overworked.
That's the writer.
Okay, so the writer / editor was like, look, I'm the only guy here. I'm overworked. Fuck this. Just fuck it all. I'm tired.
Do me a favor. Go click on the writer and see the beautiful works that he's done.
Let's fucking do that. I'm gonna see what else the director's done. That's what I want to see. Bobby Hamill, writer. Was it Call to Duty? Wings of the Wasp.
That's
Wait,
a documentary.
Wasn't this group of girls called the Wasp?
That was directed by somebody else.
Was that a movie?
Well, this is a documentary.
Hold on. Wings of a black and white community taking into lives and adventures, obstacles women had to overcome in the early 1900s to become fighter pilots. What fucking women were fighter pilots in the 1900s? What? Yeah, I'm all confused. I don't. Hold on for a second. Okay, so there's a movie called The Wasps.
Yes,
What?
there's a movie called The Wasps, which still kind of confused about because the plot seems very similar to this one.
Hold on for a second. Sidney Davenport and JoJo Ritter had one dream since they were able to pick up a crayon: become the world's best fighter pilots. Problem is, they're both females. Okay. In today's world, females are now permitted to fly combat aircraft. This was not the case in the 1940s. Was this set in the 1940s?
I don't know.
In today's military service, it can still be very tough for a woman. Wait, is this movie set in the 1940s or is it today? Why would you bring that up? And even tougher for a lesbian couple. Oh my God. Straight out of AFROTC, JoJo and Sydney will get a shot of a lifetime. Flying the F-16, okay, so it is today. Flying the F-16 for our country is right around the corner. However, when the obstacles they encounter become overbearing, the ultimate dream slowly seems to be the unattainable nightmare. When both girls miraculously obtain pilot slots and an invitation to train at the Wasps Academy, they are about to embark on a journey that neither themselves nor the country saw coming. Thrown into the middle of a war that was supposed to be a training exercise. That's the same plot that this was.
Yeah.
Thrown into the middle of a war that was supposed to be a training exercise, the girls will have to rely on the same skills that women were taught in the 1940s. What, raising children and staying at home? What the fuck is going on? The same skills that were taught to women in the 1940s. Flying only. So flying without shooting, I guess. How
What?
can they...
Why would you give them a plane without armament?
No, they didn't teach them to use it. I think it would make no sense. I'm going to put you in a combat situation and you've never once been trained for combat in a plane. That's retarded. None of this makes sense. How can they save this country today with no weapons on board? Okay, so you were right. In honor of the women who made this very dream possible, Sydney and JoJo will take you on the edge of your seat at Mach 1 in honor of the Wasps. This sounds fucking retarded. I wouldn't watch this. Even if I'm just gonna laugh at it, I wouldn't. Jesus, oh God.
I don't know.
So Ray, I have a question.
Yeah.
What offended you the most? All right. Was it the editing, the misrepresenting of how the military works, the acting, or the feminist preaching? What out of those four? What would upset you the most? Did I mention story? I put story in there.
The
too.
feminist preaching, that was expected. The editing, knowing that it's a low budget film, but the poster makes it look like it's a little bit above board. You know, at least give me some Iron Eagle kind of quality. At least.
It's not, to me, that's not the problem with the editing.
It's the fact that these women had no protocol. They would just walk up to their superior's officer without knocking and announcing they even had an appointment to speak with their direct officer, and flipping their freaking minds that they are not allowed to go into active combat when ordered to.
Okay, so the thing that upsets you the most is the lack of military authenticity.
At least.
All right, so that was pretty bad for me.
It was so distracting. Like how? What?
You don't have to do that to make a good movie. That's why I was like, this is like the fan fiction of a 13-year-old girl.
And one pilot had a tattoo on their neck. I mean, you can't fucking have a tattoo visible with your hair being up.
You can't have it an identifiable marker. Yeah. I think what bothered me the most out of everything was the god-awful editing.
It
was just god-awful. Let me give you an example when I say god-awful editing. But besides the flight combat, which was a convoluted fucking mess. Get this. The mission goes tits up, okay? That's it. You're grounded. Mission goes tits up. She goes back to the bunks where the girls are supposed to be, and because they're all shot down.
Yes, except for one.
Yeah, except for one. She lands back in the carrier. She goes there and she falls to her knees and she cries at the bunks of all the girls. Then she goes back home, which is in Georgia. She goes back home. She's riding horses, okay, whatever. And then her daughter comes out. By the way, sweet child, sweet child. horrendous actress. I think this was one of the producer's daughters.
It had to be.
Put my kid in it. My
Yeah,
kid wants to be in a movie.
We don't have to pay any child labor laws.
Just put my kid. My kid wants to be in a movie. Put her in a movie. I think that's why she was there.
Wow.
But she comes out. Mom, you got a call from the military people. They say they found one of your teammates. They got her body, but she's in a coma. And I'm like, the fuck do you mean they found her body? That would have been like a fucking month ago for her to go from the middle of the Pacific Ocean all the way back home. I'm thinking she's been home for at least a week.
Yeah.
If they found, quote unquote, found the body, she'd be fucking dead. They're like, they found her, she's in a coma. Very next scene, I'm like, okay, so they took her to the hospital.
How did they retrieve her body? I mean, did someone drag her to an open spot?
Yeah, well, drag her to an open spot and fucking leave her there for a week? It doesn't fucking matter how they found her body. That had to have been at least a week ago. But my whole thing is, once she hears that, next thing you know, bam, she's in the hospital. But it's not a hospital. It's,
oh my God.
It's the medical room on the aircraft carrier. And she's wearing the same fucking outfit that she had when she got the news.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at you saying, what the fuck's going on? Am I misunderstanding something?
And then
what
the
fuck's going on? So she teleports to the aircraft carrier because they found the person who was shot out of a plane a week later, and they're able to have her in the hospital.
But that's not my favorite character.
She's in a coma.
My favorite character was the father.
Okay, so apparently this woman who's in a coma has had some sort of a bad relationship with her father, which, does that surprise you? Congratulations. Welcome to the club. This was never established at any point.
It had one sentence.
No, but I'm saying beforehand, they never mentioned this beforehand. There's not one sentence. This was never mentioned beforehand. Her father shows up in a greasy, stained wife beater.
With a gold chain?
With his gold chains and what looked like a fucking Kango hat on. Like he was just working in the kitchen in this restaurant and he got the knowledge and he just ran out and showed up.
That
again,
accent was horrible.
Again, we are on a ship and he shows up. Oh, sweetie, I know things weren't good between us, but I promise you that's going to change now.
He didn't sound like that, man.
And I'm like, are we supposed to fucking care about this? Who the fuck is this guy?
He didn't sound like that. He sounded like a fucking Italian mobster.
Baby girl, I was in the kitchen making some gabagoo. They told your mother she had a heart attack, I tell you. I came over here as quickly as I can. Bella.
Who flew his ass out there?
I think they just screwed up with the location.
They
didn't think it through because this wasn't the first time.
No, it was not the first time.
Remember, they were on base at camp.
Yeah.
Inside the guy's the big muckety muck colonel's office.
Yeah.
And as soon as he walks off the office, you pointed out, yo, I can see the door there. Why are all these cars whizzing by? This is just a fucking office building that they rented out one floor, the first floor, just to film the scene. And you can see cars whizzing by. Like, this is not a military base.
There would be no fucking cars going by in a secured location like this.
Yeah, this is a fucking office building.
The fucking Toyota
the cars
Corolla
were whizzing by like 40 miles an hour. This was a fucking office building off the main road. This was a main road with cars zipping by. I was like, this is insane.
That gym is probably a real gym, and they used the corner of that gym.
Oh, yeah.
They probably asked the owner, hey, man, can we paint your corner gray? We need to film a movie. We'll paint it back to normal color. We just need to use your equipment real quick.
I don't think they painted shit. I think they just looked for one that was already gray. It said, look, we'll give you $100. Let us film here for 20 minutes. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, no takes.
Right.
There's probably no second takes.
Oh, hell no second takes. The editor's going to have a heart attack. He's having a hard enough time as it is.
Splicing this shit together.
I think the budget, coming down to the end, they just rushed through everything. It's like, yeah, we're just going to zip her back. Everyone's dead. We're not going to have a monologue. You go home. You come back. Same outfit, whatever. We don't have time for that shit. We can't have any more locations, so just put her in what we'll have is the hospital room for this the set that's supposed to be the aircraft carrier.
And then we'll have the final location at somebody's house.
Yeah.
With the freaking your boss's boss coming to your house serving them tea or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. And the final scene is the guy's like, yeah, The father is still there. Yeah, the rest of the girls, they're still in that country somewhere. And the chick is like, well, we'll get them. We'll go there and get them no matter what it takes. And I said, I remember I looked at you, I said, I swear to fucking God, if they roll credits. Roll credits. So you're setting it up for a sequel, you arrogant pieces of shit. You know what that reminded me? I got like pains. I got like migraines because that brought back a memory I had repressed. You know what that memory was?
No.
Remember B.I.G.?
Oh my God.
B.I.G. Comics?
Yeah.
That wanted me to write a screenplay for a movie?
Oh yeah, the Sinister Six ripoff?
No. The
Slab.
five Deadly Venoms ripoff.
It was a slab.
Yeah, Slab. Ripping off the 5 Deadly Venoms. And the guy was like, yeah, do this and that and this, but in the end, leave an open for a sequel. And I'm like, you don't want to leave a movie on a cliffhanger, man. That's gonna piss people off. No. It's no problem. We'll bring the sequel out real quick. And I had to write that garbage. And then later on, I learned that as I'm sending him the screenplay that I'm writing chapter by chapter, because the guy was calling me every day for updates, so I would send him the new chapters. I learned he reads it and he's like, oh, this is great, this is awesome. Then he handed it to you fucks, and you guys were reading it and fucking laughing. You fucking assholes were all reading it and laughing I can't believe he's actually writing this shit. You're all laughing at me.
No, we weren't laughing at you.
I lost sleep. I got fucking physically ill.
You don't understand. You don't understand. It wasn't laughing at you. We were laughing at all his fucking suggestions, and you managed to incorporate the fucking madness of what this guy was wanting.
I remember telling him that if you ever make this into any sort of a movie, I told him the only way I'm going to finish this, told him over the phone, do not put my name in the credits. He's like, why not? You should get credit. No. It's like a ghostwriter. It's like a pen name for books until you get super big. That's when you use your actual name and you can tell people what your pen name was, and it makes the old shit even more popular. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I was like, do not put my fucking name in this. I want nothing to do with this. How? Because this dude would legitimately, because he called me every day, but once a week when he would call me, he would say some other shit that he wanted in the script. And I would just be like, oh, so you want me to do what now? Oh, God. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then when I found out, when what's his name told me, he's like, we were reading that shit, we were all laughing. It's that retarded shit that you were writing. I was like, oh God, this is so bad. That's what this shit reminds me of. So you want to review this?
Let's rate this thing.
All right. So here's the thing. Usually, if I can say that a movie is a teachable experience, like this can teach you why editing is so important, I would recommend people actually have this movie in film class to teach people mistakes not to make, because it looks semi-professional and you could be fooled into thinking, hey, this is good, this is a real movie. You can be fooled into thinking that. But if you're in a class, they can say, yeah, you think this is good, but look at these problems. See how this is like this, like that, like this, like that. That's what makes that bad. Because this is something you can learn from, I would not give it a straight up garbage. However, just to give you an example, remember that Barbie movie that we saw?
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. We'll review that. We just got to get M. M wasn't available today. We will review that today, but we'll do it next week. Don't worry. That Barbie movie, I don't even know if I should say this. I want to give it away, but I'll go ahead and say it. I won't say what I gave it, but the Barbie movie, which I loathed, I will not be giving a straight up garbage, because it is very much a teachable moment. Also, the set design is kind of nice, but the main thing is that Barbie movie is a teachable moment, and I will go over that when we review it on that day. So for this movie, I absolutely will give this a straight up garbage. I'm very reluctant to give something that.
Whoa.
Just like I'm reluctant to give it, I want this inside of me, I will give this a straight up garbage.
I'm going to give this, beyond just laughing at how bad it was, we still kept watching. But I will tell you one thing. At no key point was it boring or stale enough for us to walk away and not look back.
No. I'll disagree with you. Anytime those broads were not on the aircraft carrier, that was a bunch of female copium, the likes of which I was like, I could be doing anything else right now.
Yeah. Well,
none of it moved the story at all.
No, you're right. I was just laughing at how poorly the set design was. If there even was an effort, the costumes, I'm gonna give this straight up garbage.
So you ended up going the same. You set it up like you were gonna do something. Well, you don't understand. I know something that you don't.
What I don't understand is
I'm
I'm looking at what Film Threat gave this on Rotten Tomatoes.
So let's see.
There's one review.
Give me 1 second. I
honestly don't think Bobby Lepre fucking seen this movie. One thing is clear: the initial song, which M liked, we tried pulling Shazam, and it could not find a song.
Yeah,
Shazam says
it's just some shit they made for the movie. By the way, only one person reviewed this.
Yes. He's from Film Threat.
Oh, so it's the guy from Film Threat. Oh, that's the thing we were looking at earlier.
Yeah.
With Chris Gore.
Chris Gore.
And he gave it certified fresh. You motherfucker. Thanks to a capable bunch of performers, good direction, and one of the best soundtracks of the year. The film is a solid watch. I'm clicking his full review. I think he may be trolling. This is Chris Gore's thing. I think this motherfucker's trolling.
He's got to be trolling.
Keep talking.
I'm just not sure what the fuck is going on with this film. All I know, the posters is made for you to think it's Top Gun Maverick, but it's not. And the image they have on Film Threat of this is like their best HD looking image they have. Everything about this film.
Oh God!
Even the still images.
Here's this chick with her fucking untucked shirt. Oh God! Sets me so much.
There's a lot to not like about this, but we're still talking about it, which is unbelievable.
I think this dude is serious. He seriously thinks this is a good movie. I don't understand this. He seriously, that's a serious review. You know what? I'm gonna go to Google. I want to see if anybody else reviewed this. This is like a macabre. Hold on. This is really, really weird.
I think he's trolling. There's no way anybody thinks this is a fucking good film. Maybe if he didn't even watch it, maybe if you were a blind person and not seeing it and heard it, maybe it sounded great.
Okay, so IMDb has a couple reviews. All right, hold on here.
What they got here?
Okay, user reviews. Okay, so I want to see all the reviews, not just come on, IMDb. I swear to God, dude, they make you sign up to do any fucking thing on here. Oh, fucking, I ain't signing up for shit. I see one review, which is, for fuck's sake, Amazon. Okay, I see one review. All right, one guy, 2 out of 10 stars. Call it doo-doo.
That's pretty fucking...
This movie is bad, just bad. I don't know how anyone can rate this higher than a 3. Somehow, from the beginning, just awful intro music. They got the most stereotypical country music. You know what would have been good if they would have played "Try That" in a small town.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. They had the one Christian pilot, and had every time that she was in a scene not in the barracks, they played Christian music. Around her.
And they also showed her in the church or praying to God. In case you didn't realize, she's Christian. Let's see. Just awful intro music that was not going to be good. But I gave it a chance as much as I could stand to. At least I didn't make it too far into the movie before I could see that this movie was not well made. It didn't seem like anybody could act at all true. In some aspects, it looks like a handmade movie. The whole thing looks like it was filmed on a fucking iPhone. This is one of those movies that's going to be popular on riff tracks. It was almost laughable, and I couldn't see wasting any more time on it. Somehow I got the feeling that some of these early previous reviews are somehow biased. I know this seems like a very harsh review, but it's my honest opinion. Don't waste your time. Look at the next one. What is that called?
Called to Booty.
That's a 1 out of 10. This movie has a lower production value and worse acting than adult films. It's possibly the worst movie I've seen in recent memory. Every single aspect of filmmaking was executed at a homemade level. Even the lighting looked like it was rigged with house lamps, and the color temperature reminded me of Sony's ham cam. That's true.
Yeah, it is very true.
Terrible. Absolutely horrendous acting. I'm not kidding. Children in school plays often act better than this. Yeah. The next one works well as a comedy. Here we have another in the long line of quote-unquote female empowerment movies so popular with fashion-minded Hollywood these days. Yeah, he's right about that. Yeah. Now, I think it's quite appropriate and desirable to showcase realistic female capabilities. However, I think it's getting to the point of fantasy and revisionism when we insist that women can do anything a man can do but better, and try to prove that with manipulation, exaggeration, and simple fiction. So we have an example here of all the top Air Force pilots being women. Of course they are, dear. Another comical example we have is the recently released serial special ops Lioness, with the female protagonist physically outperforming Navy SEALs. Oh my god. The next one, valiant effort but OD. This is valiant effort, but oh dear God. Warning, spoilers. Hold on, I gotta check this out.
It's not that long.
So now the U.S. has all female fighter pilots. Does it? Ridiculous. On the streaming site, I found this wannabe Top Gun trying too hard. It started 8.9 review. It had an 8.9 review rating. Stupidly, I thought I'd give it a try at that rating, but oh dear God. Just for once, the other low reviewers are not wrong. Normally, if I found this type of B-style movie, I'd give it 30 minutes, and if it manages to impress me, I'll watch further. And if it fails within those 30 minutes to light something in my interest, I'll bin it. Sadly, this movie didn't make it past 10 minutes in. And when they started playing loud rock music as they were flying over the beach, that's when my suspicion of belief hit. Seriously, on this occasion, believe the poor reviews. I tried to be kind in my 3 out of 10 rating, because at least they tried, but Top Gun, it is not. Next review. There's only like 4 more left.
Yeah.
Next review. 1 out of 10. Laughable attempt at best. Let's see. Next one. 2 out of 10. Top dumb. Okay. Next one. 1 out of 10. Okay, if this were a high school play. If this were a high school play, it would be okay. Hold on. Script was terrible. Acting was poor. Editing was terrible. Thank you. They tried to make it something it was not. They made a point to show it behind the ear tattoo of one of the female flyers. This is against military rules. Thank you, Ray. You're right. You're right. The thing that bothered you, this guy pointed out, the behind the ear tattoo is against military rules.
You can't do it, man.
No facial tats are allowed. I believe the music was added as filler, cheaper than actors speaking. That makes sense. That is why on Baywatch they had music. The Hoff said the music was 3 minutes of almost free screen time. The part where a junior officer talked back to a senior officer would never have happened. Again, what you complained about. Now, why do you say the military stuff was what pissed you off the most? It's like you can't junior officer talking back to a senior officer.
You're giving a fucking order. You fucking take it.
I would like to see a females in the team, but I think it should be mixed with males. They tried to make it sexy by one of the females in the gym. That chick did have some nice tits, but that was the point. The part where the team leader was on horseback and said she had a mess. Oh my God. Hold on. The part where the team leader was on horseback and said she had a message from her commander and said she was on her time and would call back when she was done riding would never fucking happen.
It was my time. That was her time. I'm on my time. I'm like, what the fuck?
Would never fucking happen. Okay, that's a good fucking review. Next one. 1 out of 10. Wasp. Woeful, awful, stupid, pathetic. At the end of this movie, they honor the Wasp. I guess Wasp was an acronym for the movie. Not since the Valley of the Sasquatch have I seen such a bad movie. But at least I laughed at how bad the Sasquatch costume was. The plot is far-reaching. Yes, it reaches so low, it would be difficult to go any lower. The acting was awful. The holes in the plot you could fly a plane through. And let's be honest, there was nothing good about this movie. Not sure what the early reviews were watching, but it was not this movie. Do not waste your time. Do not think it gets better, and do not play it. Even worse, they left it open for a sequel. Yippee. Next one. Flight of Frustration. Call of Duty lacks quality. 1 out of 10. I'm going to go skip that one. Next one. 1 out of 10. What's the highest we've gotten was a 3.
Yeah, 3.
Next one. 1 out of 10. Horrible, just horrible. What were you looking at, Ray?
Oh my God.
Oh
my God.
Oh, I see what you're looking at. Okay, we're gonna get to that. Next one, 1 out of 10. I don't have it in me to finish watching this. I don't have it in me to finish watching this, and I've seen some really janky stuff. I stopped in to take a peek at how Joe Bina is faring in his pursuit to be a leading Hollywood man like his father. Got a ways to go, but have applauded the chase for it. He's definitely got his pop's drive. Is this talking about the male side character? Hold on.
Yes.
Yeah, all he's doing is talking about the male side character who had no scenes. Meanwhile, everything about this movie is ridiculous, as if it was meant to recruit middle school age girls into the Air Force with mandatory lunchtime cafeteria shows. It's impossible to suspend disbelief to the levels needed to entertain this movie. The script is beyond childish, as well as the most of the casting and acting. Even for something that knows it's basically fantastical spoof or tongue-in-cheek salute to Top Gun. Good luck to Joseph, though. He won't stop talking about this other fucking guy. I see what you're looking at, Ray. So now we have, hold on, 1, 2, 3. We have 3 10 out of 10s and 1 8 out of 10.
And then 1 9 out of 10.
And then 1 9 out of 10. Obviously, this is bullshit. This is probably the actors themselves. But let me see. Not just another fighter movie. Let's see. I liked it.
What? Is this person blind?
Execution on a cool idea. Yeah, I don't even know if I want a great movie. Check it out. I don't even know if I want to bother reading that. I think those are the reviews that the people saw. That the other guy was like, oh, it had good reviews.
Yeah, apparently
I decided to watch it, and he's like, what the fuck is this?
Apparently, Daryl LG 41543 loved the movie. But also he loved Bridge of Doomed, which looks like another B movie. Art of the Dead, which has Tara Reid in it. Love that movie too.
Is Tara Reid topless?
You don't want to see her topless. Her tits are a little wobbly.
All right. Well, thank you for the heads up. Yeah, that's awful. That is awful.
Great execution on a cool idea.
If you say so. I don't know what the hell this guy was watching, but all right.
All right, guys. G2TA.net and GottaTalkAbout.com, and don't forget to subscribe.
Let me get some more of that awesome battle hymn of the Republic. That patriotism. So someday my daughter... No, play it. What are you doing? So someday my daughter will climb into a fighter jet and fight for 10 minutes worth of stock footage, and then spend the rest of her time talking about female empowerment instead of bothering to save and serve this country.
You know the real enemy here in this movie, Call of Duty, were the men in the United States Air Force.
Patriarchy. That's the enemy.
That was the enemy.
Yeah.
It wasn't North King Yong.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the men shooting the rockets against them.
The future is female, Ray.
It was the American pilots.
Those
were the real villains.
Who was it that said if all the world's leaders were female, we'd never have wars?
I think we would always have wars.
You know, some dumb broad told me once, and she was like, if all the world's leaders were women, we'd never have wars. So I was like, okay, so if all the world's leaders were Margaret Thatcher, we'd never have wars. She was like, well, not her. And I was like, okay, so if all the world's leaders were, I forgot, if all the world's leaders were Condoleezza Rice, we'd never have wars. Well, not her either. At that point, I was like, all right, well, you figure that shit out. I don't want to fuck you anymore, so I'm going to stop talking to you.
Oh, okay. That was